Next story, we in San Francisco via ABC7. Supervisors vote unanimously to remove embattled San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus. The San Mateo County Board of Supervisors voted Tuesday morning to remove embattled Sheriff Christina Corpus from office. This comes 3 months after voters gave the Board of Supervisors the power to remove her. It was a unanimous vote that happened shortly after 9 a.m. She now has 5 days to appeal the decision. Corpus told ABC7 News on Tuesday that she does not plan on resigning and that she will fight until the end. Okay, so basically a lady, the
Sheriff's getting voted out.
Yeah.
Which is some rare shit. Sheriffs live like little kings. Like they live after their county. If you're a sheriff, a county sheriff, you're living in your little princely estate. You gotta do whatever the fuck you want.
I watched her.
They have given so much leeway, and this is some rare shit. That's all I'm saying.
I could tell that because when I was watching her interview, she just gave the aura of like, I'm not giving up this power.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not like I have a like she had like the crystal and like they couldn't take the crystal from her hand. She was just like, no. They're like, everyone's saying give up the staff. No. You have to give up the ring of power.
Why would I do that?
Yeah, her voice is different. She has like her skin's grayer and paler. Black veins and shit.
Oh yeah.
Mommy. No, anyway. We're going to go back a few months to give a little context to this story. San Francisco Chronicle, lies, secrecy, and Hawaii? Reporters
10 out of 10 headline.
Yeah, pretty good. That's a good reveal. It's a good rule of threes there. Report details Bay Area Sheriff's alleged inappropriate relationship.
Ooh.
San Mateo County supervisors called for the immediate resignation of Sheriff Christina Corpus and the firing of her chief of staff. That's what she was calling him, chief of staff. With whom?
Chief of what?
Yeah, chief of, he was the chief of staff for her. I'm sorry. With whom she is accused of having an inappropriate relationship following the release of a report Tuesday that alleged abuse of power, retaliation, and intimidation under her leadership. At a news conference Tuesday afternoon, supervisors Noella Corzo and Ray Mueller said the findings of the nearly 400-page report independently conducted by retired Santa Clara Superior Court Judge Ladoris Cordell were extremely concerning and unprecedented in the history of San Mateo County government. Among the allegations were that Corpus had used racial and homophobic slurs to degrade colleagues.
I just want to say real quick, every time like a cop, a sheriff, someone, high police officer, high up, gets like taken down, they'll always like it'll be all their allegations, and they'll always be at the end. Also, they said slurs. It's like, yeah, dude. Of course they're saying slurs. They're fucking cops.
They're embezzling hundreds of thousands.
Stole millions of dollars from the taxpayers.
I'll be honest.
Planted crack in the black community, and also they use derogatory language.
She's been doing a lot of microaggressions lately. A lot of people are saying it's problematic. To be honest,
this is how cops talk.
After murdering 6 Mexican kids, she also touched the hair of one of her coworkers. So I don't know if
dude,
I don't know. Listen, I'm as woke as the next guy, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think
slurs. Wait a minute.
Oh no, that's it. That's how they fucking little liberal media, I tell you, right? But Corpus vehemently denies these allegations, vowing to stay in her job and fight her opponents. I am shocked by the outright slander by 2 members of the Board of Supervisors this afternoon. No one will call me a racist or a homophobe.
And she's also sticking to that part.
What about?
Yeah. You've been accused of murder, rape, burglary. I am not a homophobe.
When they called me ugly, that's when I drew the line in the sand. I think there are other things we got to get to. And I think, listen, when people are, it sucks because like people just want you to do your job, man. Why can't you just do your job, bro? Like, you got to do all. That's the problem with people, man. They always bring these like personality things. If you're accused, even if the other things, I think the racism and the homophobia is enough to get you kicked out of your job because all we're asking is for you to do the job. Don't bring your personal beliefs
Yeah, don't bring your recreational activities.
It taints it. Even if you are even if you are racist, if you just did the job and nobody knew you were racist, you could have kept it. Like, if I had a chair and it was the perfect chair, then every once in a while it'd be like, nigger. I'd be like, damn, this is a good chair. It's doing its job, but like, I gotta get a new chair, bro.
So you went from a Holocaust analogy to a chair, inanimate object saying the N-word. Bro, your analogies are on point this episode.
I'm a little abstract, bro.
A chair. You know what I'm talking about,
You know what
right?
I mean, right?
You know what you hit it when your chair says slurs? We've all been there.
That's
We've
what
all
I'm saying. I'm like, and she was what, like, racism and sex is enough to get you fired, even if you're good at your job.
Yeah.
If my chair
The
was
chair's
red-
good at his job.
I'm trying to like bring it to his understanding. We all
Yeah.
it has a job it needs to do.
It holds me up sometimes. Sometimes I put my
saying.
drink on it and I'm worried it might tip over, but it doesn't
I
tip
can
over.
like the chair when it's. I'm like, this is the utility. But every now and then, if the chair was like, Mexicans, they need to leave, I would have to be like, fuck, bro. This is enough to get rid of this shit. Like, I'm just saying, don't just think the racism. Don't discount it.
True,
That's
you're
all.
right. You're
That's
right.
all.
Great point.
It's enough to get you fired.
Great. I'll say, look, Ashton, great point, and also flawlessly executed point.
You gotta really stick. I'm the type of person you gotta really stick with me to the end.
He's talking about furniture. Where is he going with this? The mind is fucking genius over here.
Listen,
you gotta cannot be contained.
Listen, I gotta keep going so I can make sense myself. I gotta understand.
Yeah, where is this
what
going?
Am I saying? What actually am I saying? I gotta keep these words.
Damn, I guess
flowing.
the chair's got to talk in this.
How did I get here? Don't look back. Just keep going forward. Just keep going forward.
Yeah.
Push through.
Yeah.
You'll find the end. You'll connect it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm glad to our audience. I apologize.
No, that was great. That was
To
great.
our audience who has to stick to
That was great. On our longest episode in history.
Long-winded chair analogy.
Yeah.
Really didn't add it to anything. Corpus vehemently denies these allegations. Blah blah blah. Where am I? She says, anyone who knows me knows I would not use racist words. I am not capable of that. Like, her stomach can't like digest milk. She can't like process racism. So that's what she means by that. Like, anyone who knows me knows I cannot use racist words. I'm not capable of that, she said Tuesday night. This is a hatchet job of an inquiry which was commissioned with a predetermined outcome in mind, and it was filled with lies. Just hours before the news conference, the Sheriff's Department arrested Carlos Tapia, the president of the Deputy Sheriff's Association, on suspicion of felony grand theft and theft by false pretenses. In a statement, the union wrote that Corpus' decision to arrest Tapia has all the earmarks of whistleblower retaliation. So Tapia is one of the people who called her out. And then out of nowhere, he's suddenly arrested for suspicion of felony of grand theft and theft by false pretense. So, she could have went.
Sounds like the cops in our last story.
Yeah.
Felony theft.
She got the wrong cops, but or he's not even a cop. He's like just a employee. But Tapia was one of many. He is a cop. Sorry. Tapia was one of many officers who criticized the sheriff's office, accusing management of doubling down on overtime requirements amid other unfair labor practices. Unfair labor practice complaints that were filed with the California Public Employment Relations Board. In her own news conference, just half an hour before the supervisors announced the finding of the report, Corpus discussed Tapia's arrest and stated that she had been working hard at changing the good old boy culture that has been integrated in this office and also exists in the county's government. She denied that the arrest was made in retaliation and said her investigators had found probable cause that a crime was committed. Nah, I'm not arresting my political enemies.
Dude, she is. That's so political. Yeah, dude. She's like a Trump. She's like a Caesar. She's like a dictator. Give this lady more power. I want to see how far she'll go.
Dude, she's like, what? Bro, oh my God. I'm like a little fascinated by women in power because like who like corrupt women in power, because there's also that one mayor who's like clearly evil. She's like the Devil Wear Prada, like where she's just like, she just looks like a boss, like it's boss or something like, damn.
Yeah.
It's low key is.
Well,
She kinda-
it's like
she's a little boss, but this is evil as hell.
Of course. Well, to be a woman and to get to those roles, like amidst, because it's always funny when like I'm backtracking a little bit, but it's like we live in a more modern era where we have like more diverse police forces, we have more diverse agents of white supremacy, and so when they make it to those positions of power, they did have to fight through sexism and racism to get there, and through their sheer ruthless force of will, they were able to attain this power, and now they are not to be fucked with.
This lady had to defeat all her sexist enemies and men, which means she had to be more ruthless than the ruthless niggas who was trying to subdue her just for her sex. And she was like, "Oh, I gotta, the monster can't be."
You calling me out? You're literally going to jail, motherfucker.
She had to become the big fish and eat the big, like it's like little fish. She had to become the biggest fish, and now she created a monster.
Yeah, she fucking arrested the guy, the cop who called her out.
Yeah, she's like,
and this all happened like in a matter of like days, just like
she arrests police officers. This motherfucker ain't no joke. Yo.
Yeah.
And
they think they could vote her out. That's why she's like, I'm not resigning. Like you said, you're gonna have to take this power from my cold dead hands.
The ring is corrupting her. The ring of power is just my precious. She's like, you have to let the ring go, Sam. No. You're different.
Yeah.
She became like through the process of getting that position of power, she became the Hulk. It's like when Mike Tyson talks about like him getting bullied as a kid.
Yeah.
To become Mike Tyson, to become the Beast, he had to like beat all the other people. Like he had to become the Beast. She became the fucking Beast.
That was her version of a dude taking Mike Tyson's pigeon and breaking its neck in front of her. Was when the first time she told her dad, "I want to be a cop," and he was like,
"Women can't be cops. Women can't."
Why don't you try something else, babe? I love you.
All right, you arrest this apron, all right? That day, she fucking, and then she shot the glass ceiling. Bow, bow, bow. Everybody fell through. She brought him down.
Everyone was pissed.
So I do have to like reckon with the fact that a little part of me is like, damn, this is a little hot, but also this bitch is evil. She's a monster. But there's something. Also, even though I don't fuck with dating cops, but this was like cop love. You know, she got her nigga a job. She was at the end of the day, she was just protecting her man.
But what I'll say, speaking of, because we're not there, we haven't gotten there yet.
At the beginning.
But yeah, we haven't gotten to the detail. I want to save all that for like when we get to the details of it.
Where was that? The investigation into corporate leadership was prompted by complaints by sworn and professional staff members of the sheriff's office. Corpus fired her third-in-command assistant sheriff, Ryan Monahan, shortly after he was interviewed as a part of the investigation. Corpus previously denied the firing had anything to do with his cooperation into the investigation.
She arrested a guy, she fired a guy. This is all just random, trust me. I fired him, I arrested him, random.
Have you fired anybody not tied to
Oh, he's a great police officer. They arrested that guy that I wanted them to arrest.
The major findings from the investigation included that Corpus and her chief of staff, Victor Anile, have had a personal and intimate relationship since 2021 that constitutes a conflict of interest, that Corpus used slurs, including nigga, and that she, and mind you, she's not a nigga, and that she and Anel engaged in retaliation and intimidation tactics. Corpus delivered a defiant response during her second news conference Tuesday. I have a personal relationship with Mr. Anele and with other members of my staff. She fucking everybody, according to her. That was her word. She told reporters, I've been dealing with this kind of rhetoric my entire career. I am a woman of color that has gone up the ranks in a male-dominated field. This is nothing new to me. Many of the findings in the report concern Anele in particular, including that he had not met the policy's manual duty requirements for a level 1 reserve duty deputy, that he had abused his power with the authority of Corpus, and that he has unapproved outside employment. Okay, so first off, the report itself was just, I don't know if the report was like throwing shots, or if it's just like, dog, you're not even good enough to be a level 1.
Well, yeah, because he was a real estate guy.
Yeah. The report said he did not follow proper protocol and had conflicts of interest relating to his real estate work. When negotiating the lease for and selecting a construction contractor for a sheriff's office property. Okay, so he was like you just said, he was a lease guy.
Yeah. He was like a contractor real estate guy. You know, he built shit. That's what he did.
Damn.
And so they signed a contract with the sheriff's office to whatever it was. It doesn't say like an office build, whatever it is. And so that's when they first were like, wait a minute, aren't y'all fucking though? Like, and so then they're like, you can't have this contract. And that's when she hired him as like chief of staff of this like sheriff's department. And they're like, wait a minute, this is just the guy that we ended his contract. He's the real estate guy.
This is like corruption. Like, I hate to use the word corruption at every level, but nigga, it's corruption.
It is, yeah.
It's like at every.
It's like brick by brick. This building is corrupt.
Element, every dimension of, or you have a sexual relationship, inappropriate corruption. You're doing contract real estate corruption.
Yeah,
like
exactly. You've hired him now as your chief of staff. You're arresting people calling you out.
Lady, did you do any part of the job correct?
And worst of all, you're saying slurs.
Yeah.
By the way, can I say this? And I know we're going on too long, but I want to mention, it's not in this article, but they said one of the other slurs she kept saying, not the N-word. It's a homophobic slur. She kept saying,
say it.
Fuzz bumper.
That's a slur.
Fuzz bumper. I guess.
I mean, now
you get what you get it.
It sounds what I mean. I guess
yes to describe.
Oh, lesbians.
Lesbians.
Yo, lesbians' gay slurs are just ineffective. Dog.
I mean, it's like, but it's like kind of what you said. I'm like, is that a? I get it's homophobic. It's also, obviously homophobic. You shouldn't call your colleagues that. Yeah. But it's like it's like she said 2 slurs:
and now
the N-word and fuzz.
And listen, and to even go even further on that, she's a Latin woman. And look, her saying nigga, we don't like it. We don't like when Latinos be saying nigga because they be like, they vote for Trump half the time, or not half the time, but you know, niggas be like, damn nigga, who you vote for? But they be saying nigga and. So she just might also just be a Latin lady saying nigga and, you know, is racist. We don't like it, but also it's like, it ain't the same as when white people say nigga.
Exactly.
Is, you know, Mexican people be saying nigga all the time. So it's like they're hitting her with that she might be like an Andrew Schultz type.
Sure, yeah. But the fuzz bumper thing is so funny. First of all, for a minute, and look, and I'll say this. Maybe we're ignorant, and I'll say this. I sincerely apologize if this, but it just seems like look, I've heard slurs. Maybe it's a regional thing. Maybe it's like a region. Maybe it's like an E40 slur that he came up with. Actually, that hasn't made it past the Bay Area.
He's apologizing. I'm not I don't.
Ashton is not apologizing. Clarify. KAWPS the podcast. Jaffer apologizes. Ashton is not apologizing.
I know a silly ass slur when I hear one. Okay, fuzz bumper.
But we're saying it's not. It doesn't seem like a slur.
If that hurts you, you are not my person. Okay.
And what's funny though is not that she said it. Like they posted screenshots, and it's like, bro, she said fuzz bumper so much. She said it all the time. There's like clearly one lady she worked with that when she's texting is like the way she was texting casually. It sounds like, you know, where like you and like your partner, like her and this guy, the chief of staff, y'all just like talking shit about the guy at work. Mm-hmm. She kept texting like fuzz bumper late again, and it just seemed like that was their name for it. Again, no excuse for homophobia. Yeah. But the repetition of fuzz bumper seemed. I would be remiss not to bring it up on a comedy podcast.
The spirit of homophobia is wrong.
Yes.
The slur is goofy as hell. And it's like you know, listen, if you're like I'm saying, for me,
because it's not fuzz bumper. Like I've heard like, you know, carpet muncher.
Yeah, which is also funny.
But it's like the thing I've heard, fuzz bumper is like
in the 80s, I could hear that being like, oh my God, but it's 2025.
Because I remember carpet muncher, like people would say that. People would say that when I was a kid. It was like a thing us young children learned to say. I had no idea what that meant. I'm pretty sure most of the kids saying it, we could not conceptualize what that meant. But I never really took it. And again, maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sorry for that. As like a The slurs we do know that are like hateful slurs for gay people.
Yeah. All we're saying is work harder. If you want to come throw some slurs, work a little harder with your slurs. According to the report, Anele was a consultant on Corpus' campaign to become the first Latina and female sheriff in the county, then was hired to consult on her transition team after she was elected in June 2022. But county officials terminated his contract after that October after learning the two had taken a trip to Hawaii together after she took office in January 2023. Corpus rehired Anele as a contractor, making $92 an hour. She then created a full-time job of director of administration, and hired him for that job that paid $246,000 a year.
That's a lot of money for a fake job.
Yeah.
A lot of money for a job that she created so she could keep paying her boyfriend money because they didn't allow her to give him the contract to build the office.
Damn, that's a real ass girlfriend, bro.
Yeah.
I
can see you going from like earlier, you're like, I kind of think she's this. You made the joke that she's hot to you. Now you're like sincerely like, have I ever felt love in my life? Have I ever met someone who would do that for me?
I see love when I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corpus made several requests to raise Anele's pay to the damn. She's making sure this is a working family. This is two. I'm arresting anybody who questions this. Anele's paid to the level of assistant. Corpus made several requests to raise Anele's pay to the level of assistant sheriff, but county officials denied these. Together, Cordell wrote that the Corpus Anele administration is obsessed with loyalty that borders on paranoia, noting at least one incident when Anele demanded his office be swept for bugging devices, believing he was being spied on. Cordell said she interviewed 25 current and past sworn employees and 15 civilian current and past employees of the sheriff's office for her report.
Damn.
Goddamn. Yeah, now that lady's going to jail.
Yeah. I don't know. Is she? I don't know, dude.
She was like, the board of directors, this coup. And it's like, no, the board of directors, the people voted for them to do that. She was calling it a coup, but it was like,
yeah.
But the people voted by the board of directors to do that. And even in the board of directors, they were like, the lady that she's referring to, she was like, was a coup, the audio, she's like, Christina, you should just step down. Today's the day.
Trying to reason with her?
Yeah, she was. She was like, Christina, before all the subpoenas and come on, just. And then they cut to Christina, and she was like, do you hear that, bitch? You hear this turn? Literally, she was like, you hear this turn?
That's hilarious.
I was like, oh my God, this lady has an iron.
Do you hear this carpet gobbler over here? Not to say any slurs.
Right?
Not to say any slurs invented by E40 over here in the Bay Area.
All I can say is to that. But that's the story, gang. That's the fucking pod.
That's the whole saga. I just wanted to real quick summarize this. So she this consultant helped her on her campaign to become sheriff. The campaign succeeded. She got elected sheriff, fell in love with this consultant, awarded him a contract to do some shit for the sheriff's department. That's obviously illegal. They said, you can't do that. She said, fine, I'm going to hire him as my chief of staff. That doesn't exist. She gave him a giant salary. They said, hey, you can't do that either. She said, whoa, this level of sexism has never once been seen in this country. And they're like, we're going to vote you out. And she's like, you're going to jail.
Mm-hmm. And now the only way to stop this Latina queen is with ICE. So